So when Alison Device was walking through Trodden Woods that day, this is the kind of forest that she would have been in. The forest connecting Pendle Hill to Cole. So the day that she met John Law, the salesman, she would have been walking through a woods exactly the same as this. She would have been looking for things to use in her spells. She would have been looking at plants and flowers and herbs, lichens, mosses, and witches couldn't afford to buy things like pins in those days, so that's why Alison Device was trying to trade the pins off John Law. So what they would have used instead is rose thorns and black thorns. They would have used those as pins, and how they used to work, they would make a clay effigy of the person, and it didn't always necessarily have to be bad spells that they were doing. With the thorns, they could do healing spells. If a person had an eye problem, they'd stick the pin in the eye and chant some incantation. If the heart problem, they would stick it in the heart area. Anywhere in the body, the abdomen, anywhere where there was a problem, the knees, the foot, they could, by using pins, stick into the dolls and therefore do the healing. So when you see pins in dolls, it isn't always a bad thing. They did use it for several things, and Alison probably wanted the pins because she came from a healing family, and she needed those pins to be able to do the kind of magic and the kind of spells that she probably worked. But we'll go walk through this forest, and Andy and I will talk to you a little bit more of present day witchcraft, pagan, Wiccan in America, and a little bit more about how it works, what we actually do. So basically, you have your five elements. You've got your earth, air, fire, so you make a fire, water, so we've got the stream nearby, and then you invoke your spirits, your own personal spirit guides, and you invoke higher spirit guides. Like for me, I use Osiris, Isis, Thoth and Horus. Different witches will have different things that they tap into, gods and goddesses. Andy is more the Viking side of things. Other witches will choose Greek gods, Roman gods, whatever they choose, whatever best suits them. So, and from that you get your energies from that, and you get your energies from the full moon, and then you can put that energy into the instruments you're using, whether it's your wand or the witch's knife, the blade, anything that you're using. But I will show you at some point in this series how to conduct a magic circle at the altar indoors, and taught you a little bit more about how that works, so that people have a better understanding of what modern day witchcraft is and what modern day witches actually do. Because witches are always classed as a spooky thing at Halloween, which, alright, there is that dark element to witches. The reason being, witches work on full moons and new moons. So if you're doing a banishing spell, then you need to do it at the new moon. So if we're burning black candles, we're going to be burning those candles at new moon, celebrating the new moon. And what we do is, if there's a banishing to do, and there again, banishing don't always have to be negative things, banishing problems for people, banishing health issues, anything like that. You're not banishing if there's a family having a lot of arguments and things, banishing that negativity, the things that we do, paranormal, banishing the negativity. So the banishing spell's very, very important, but we tend to do the banishing spells at new moon to new moon. So if you see witches with black candles, if the pentacle is facing upright, then it will be a positive thing. But also we do invert the pentacle to do a banishing, because the upright pentacle puts the energy in, and you use that on the full moon, and the inverted pentacle drains the energy out on the new moon. So even the upside down pentacle isn't always a bad thing. It depends on how it's being used. So this is the kind of forest that Alison would have been, and her family as well, Elizabeth, her mother, James, her brother, Elizabeth, her grandmother, would have all foraged for, they would have taken branches off trees to make wands. A willow wand is the traditional witch's wand, but you can also make wands out of cedar. And they would have taken pine cones and various leaves, grind them into a pestle, mixed with other ingredients, mixed together to make the spell. So they would have foraged for everything, because they didn't have any money, they didn't buy anything, they didn't pay for anything. Where they lived literally was a rundown tower, a derelict tower. So possibly they just found that tower and moved into it for shelter, perhaps didn't even own it. I believe they did have a small holding with some animals which they would have kept for, like, food and for eggs and that kind of thing, milk. They did live really, in the deepest poverty, because they did come from the Pendle Hills. And back in those days, it was just farmland. There was nothing else there. I mean, now you've got all your fancy restaurants, pubs, nice little shops. You've got all your witches galore stuff and all that to attract tourists. There's lots of good things there now, but back in their days, it was like this. It was just all forests and hills. They would have taken the water from the river to conduct their spells. They would have taken stones from the river to make them magical into runes. Anything that they had for witchcraft in those days, they would have gathered from this forest. Today, we have witchcraft shops, so anything we need to do spells, we just go and buy it. It's not really the way that witches are supposed to work, but a lot of the stuff is hard to get a hold of, like, yarrow and what's it called? The other wormwood, yeah. And there's some hogwort, and although the hogwort does grow by rivers, but it's poisonous, so you've got to be careful how you get hold of that stuff. Mugwort. A lot of these things now you can only get in witchcraft shops, so we do tend to just go in with our pagan shopping list and come out with what we need. We started our Pendle series in February. Everybody seems to do Pendle witches at Halloween, and really the only association with Pendle witches and Halloween is that it's the end of the pagan year, and it's when the veil is the thinnest between this world and the spirit. And it's when, that more kind of apparitions are seen, and apparently, spirits and all souls and all saints and all that from the churchyards are able to rise up and talk to their loved ones. This was the, legend about it. So the actual Pendle witches, they were caught one by one through April and May, and then they were incarcerated in Lancaster prison until August, and then they were hung in August. Now, I think there was one or possibly two that were let off because it was proven that they weren't actually involved in anybody's deaths. They were doing some sort of midwifery or, helping babies and things like that, but they weren't doing anything. Although they were friends of the Pendle coven, they couldn't prove they'd done anything actually to harm anyone. So Alice Gray was released, and she continued as a midwife in the local area. But I think that Alice Gray is not one of the well-known witches. She worked as a midwife for a lot of the big families that had halls in the area, Reed Hall, Gawthorpe Hall, Sabden Hall, other halls. So she was quite known amongst the wealthy as a good midwife. So when it went to court, those people stepped up and said, look, she's a really good midwife. We've had like 4, 5, 6 children brought up by her into the world and up by her, so we can vouch for her. So she did get let off. But the other witches, they weren't so lucky, because our Pendle witches, and I like to call them our Pendle witches because they are Elizabeth Device, James Device and Alison Device, mother, son and daughter, and Elizabeth Southern, the grandmother. They are our spirit guides. So whenever we're doing outdoor stuff regarding witchcraft, we gather them around and they come. So if you've watched the Pendle quarry that we did, investigation, and there's a second quarry investigation after this one where we're going to cleanse the quarry and lift the negative energies, because I think we explained to you the last time we were up there, the problem we get now is with negative people doing stupid things like Black Sabbath and all this stuff. They pick up a spell book and they've watched a bit of Harry Potter and they want to have a go, but they want to do a little bit of negativity and it all goes wrong. That kind of witchcraft is really, like I explained with the banishing and the new moon, is used to rid people and households and whatever areas of negative energies or negative people or negative situations. It isn't used for killing people or anything like that. That's the last thing. I mean, you could even use it for drawing things out of the body. If someone's got something like a hernia, say for example, you can use the banishing and you can draw it out, the black dark moon, the black candles, and you can use the spiritual healing and certain crystals to draw that hernia out of that person. Now, alright, you might not be able to cure them miraculously, but you could then, the appointment will come through the door the day after, that they can go and have it removed. So that's kind of how today's witchcraft works.
Yeah.
It's not all about waving the wand and catching the spells. Yeah, you do wave the wand, you do mix the spells, but they take a full lunar month. You go from new moon, full month, complete it on new moon, or you go from full moon a full month and complete it on full moon, and that is what today's witchcraft is really all about.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll leave it there and we'll catch you in the next episode.
Okay.
Hi everyone, so we've come back to Pendle Hill. Anybody who watched our first episode will know that we picked up on a very black, dark, demonic presence in this ritual area, which was used by the Pendle witches in the 1600s and is also used by present-day witches, including us. So Andy and I have come back tonight to cleanse this area and make it safe for anybody else who wants to come up here. Andy?
But before that, I'm going to do a ritual now to try and find out what it is, who it is, and why it's here, and who brought it here.
Okay.
If you don't particularly want to listen to it, I'll understand that. All I'll say is don't use this unless you know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get started then. Yeah.
Of the East to protect this circle and protect myself, protect everybody in it. De nostri Satanas Lucifer Excelsior. In the name of Satan, the ruler of the earth, the king of the world, I command the forces of darkness to bestow their infernal power upon me. Open wide the gates of hell. Come forth from the abyss to greet me as your brother and friend. Grant me in the indulgences of which I speak. I have taken thy name as part of myself. I live as the beasts of the field, rejoicingly in the fleshly life. I favour the just and curse the rotten. By all the gods of the pit, I command that these things of which I shall speak shall come to pass. Come forth.
There's a torch just gone out.
Come forth and answer.
It just went really dark.
By manifesting my desires. Oh, hear the names: Abaddon, Asmodeus, Astaroth, Baphomet, Nergal, Sekhmet.
The torch went out, but I don't know which one. Definitely did go out. Actually, it's been turned round. It's this one here. Something's turned it round, facing this way. It was facing that way. That torch has just been turned round, guys.
Okay.
You know why? Because it's light.
The presence that is in this area, I demand that you to give me your name. I've opened myself up now by doing that ritual, and I demand that you speak to me. Speak to me through this device or the board that I will about to use. I demand that you know. And when I call upon you, you have to give me your name. The people who've come here, the Christians who've come here and argued with you, I demand their name. They have no right to that name, as they are not pagans. They are not followers of the occult. They have no right to know your name, and you should know your name. I ask you to give me your name. So we can know who you are. You are obviously strong enough. But the people who conjured you up had no right to conjure you up. They haven't the power, they haven't the knowledge, they haven't got the intelligence that you have. They are not worthy of you. So I am asking you to speak to me, follower of your religion. Thank you. Why are you not? I don't mind speaking.
I don't mind speaking.
Thank you. Can you speak to me? The presence that's here. How long have you been here? And where are you from? But first of all, I want your name. I want to know your name. Some people come here and do the rituals to conjure you, that have brought you here. They're not worthy of you. These people shouldn't be doing these things. I know your power, but I know that you are here. People like myself to help me in times of need and give us the things that we need most in life. Encounter. Have I encountered you before?
Spiritual encounters.
Is that what you mean? Are you talking about us spiritual encounters? 666. All I ask is your name. If you can't talk through this, can you talk through the board?
Yeah, I think we're
Can
going
you
to try the
give me a
Ouija
name
board.
through your board? I'm going to use this board now. Can I bring this board into here?
Are you using it on the altar?
To use it here.
Okay, yeah, fine.
Put that there.
I'll just film then.
I need you to tell me your name. These people don't know what they're doing. Think it was a good idea, because as you know, they should have been able to put you back where you specifically came from. So to use this. I know you're not stupid, but I'm going to do this because this is how I always do it. This is no, this is yes, these are all the letters, the letters, and these are the numbers. talk to me, could you please let me know who you are? That's good. F. You.
Oh, here we go. Nice word.
I.
Oh, give it time.
T. F. F-U-I-T-F.
What? F-U? I? F. It might be some message coming through.
F-U.
It might be F-U.
You tried to
And then
tell me
I. And
something.
then it's the next word starting with an F. That's what I think. Unless it's some Latin spelling of a demonic name.
H.
It's not making any sense. Unless you know a demon that's with that kind of a name.
Are you having some fun with me?
Maybe just ask some direct questions. Maybe just finding its way around the board yet.
You do it again. This is for no. This is for yes. These are all the letters. These are all the numbers. How many? Spirits, entities are here.
Maybe they're going to be initials.
V.
Do you have any initials that you know?
U.
Must be FU.
FV. FU.
Unless it's trying to say FU. Do you know what I mean? But do you know any initials? Like FV? It would be a name beginning with F, wouldn't it?
G. FV. G.
Don't forget, if it's our Pendle witches, they would have struggled to spell. Are you trying to give us a message? Is Alison Device here, please?
Can I ask you this, and I don't mean any disrespect whatsoever? Are you able to spell?
So it's our witches then if they can't spell.
I'm going to put it back to the middle. Okay.
So maybe just ask some yes and no questions then if they can do that. Is Elizabeth Southern here?
Is this you, Elizabeth?
Elizabeth Device, Alison Device, James Device. Please come around us. Come and talk to us on this board.
Put it back to Elizabeth. I can say something, Elizabeth. You don't know how much this means to me. I'm actually getting to his name.
Yeah.
It means a lot to know you're here.
She's protected this space.
Can I ask you? Do you like us being here? This is literally coming out of my hand.
Is it? That's good.
It's literally, I'm hardly touching it.
Ask her if there's been a demonic presence here.
Elizabeth. Are there any other members of your family here?
So we welcome Elizabeth Device and her children, Alison and James Device, who were all witches. We told the story of Alison on the first part of this programme.
I think that's gone really quiet since I started this. Not even.
That's because they're coming through there and not this. But if think about it right, they lived
Yes, but
in the 1600s. They're going to prefer the wooden Ouija board to this.
yeah, that's.
This modern stuff doesn't suit every spirit.
Yeah, obviously, that for me verifies this because they prefer to talk to you. This, they're not.
Yeah,
they're
they're familiar with
not
that.
mentioning that.
Oh, F. Familiar.
Elizabeth, we were actually doing different. We're doing what suppose you call it a story about this area and what happened to everybody around here. I know we can't change what happened, but are you happy that people at last are trying to get your side of the story?
That's good.
I'll put that to you.
Yeah, lots of people are getting the story out now in various different ways to clear the names.
Verify something for me. I'd like to know. How? How many people died? Did died at that time? Innocent people died, shall I say? I'm sorry if I lost you something that I shouldn't. I don't know. I apologise.
She might not know because she died first.
She did.
She died in Lancaster Jail, Lancaster Prison, in the tower at the bottom, the Witch's Tower.
Elizabeth. Were those stories true? Or you just really you just sort of rivals in that area? But as people, did you get on? Because you were different areas and different things, and some people have hatred. Was there a real hatred between you?
No, well, they were friends at one point, weren't they?
No, that's a no. Thank you for letting me know that, because that's what I thought. I thought because you were both two ladies of a certain age, both wise people, both helped each other.
They probably just got into scuffles, you know, as people do.
One question I'd like to ask you. There was a farm, not very near here. You call it Tight down there. live there, or did you live at the what do you call the Monkey Tower up at Blackwell? So if you lived up there, it's like you want to yeah, move it to yes. If you lived at Blackwell, to no.
Do the cleansing soon because we've only got like 10 minutes battery left.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We're going to come back.
Thank you.
We're going to be making several trips. While we're doing the Pendle Witch project story, we're going to be making several trips into this quarry anyway. This is the area where the Pendle Witches actually performed their rituals and their magic. It's the area where they were arrested. Okay. Yeah, well good, we've got some response.
I've never... That felt... It was like being pulled out of my hand.
Yeah.
It was like it was being pulled out of my hand, but it's just so funny that as soon as I started this, Spirit Talker tends to...
Yeah, it's gone off, stopped, hasn't it?
No.
It's not done anything, has it? When you've put the things away in it, then I'll do the cleansing. So that's the altar, that big stone there, guys, and this altar's literally been there for centuries. It's used by many pagan people, but we always cleanse it and consecrate it to leave it fresh for somebody else who comes along. This is the quarry, boy. It's a little bad lighting at the minute. You can probably see the rim of it there. That's the rim of it there.
Just don't close this.
Yeah, well, I'm going to do a blessing anyway. You can close it if you want.
I call upon the watchtowers of the east. Thank you for protecting me in this circle and protecting me out of the circle. Watchtowers of the north. Thank you for protecting me in this circle tonight and keeping me safe. Keep us safe from
I worked here.
You worked here?
She worked here.
As a witch? Maybe. Yeah, I want to cleanse the area and consecrate it like we said we would, because this water, I've been working on the altar for a few days to get this stuff, ready to, so that if there has been any demonic and negative forces conjured up here, we as pagan witches can put that to rest. Yep, and I'll just get my stuff out. Yeah. So I'm going to start with the salt water, which for the salt water we bless the entire circle, the working circle. So this is salt water, this is protection. Bless the circle of power. Let me a meeting place of love, joy and truth. A shield against all wickedness and evil. Those that have protection contain the energies that we shall raise within thee, or any other pagan witches shall raise once they're here. Therefore do I bless thee and consecrate thee in the names of Horus, Isis, Let's get the feathers, which symbolise air, and the feathers are what the Native American Indians used to use in their rituals.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar to sage. A lot of people use sage, but the Native American Indians believe that sage literally puts the spirits to sleep, and after a while they can wake up again. So I'm going to use a little of how they protect sacred spaces. So just let me get my feathers. Your foot, Andy. I can't put the witches out on it, it's going to blow clean off.
Oh, yeah.
Point. So we'll just do...
We would have lit the candles, but
yeah.
it was a bit mad.
these are offerings that are going to have to go to left here in a minute. Get them out. Okay, so I've got leader the fork, pulley the feather. Traditionally, they're used for protection and cleanliness. The white symbolises white spirit. The black symbolises like the darkness, the spirit of the night. The gold is an angel feather, and the red symbolises us really. You know, the blood coursing through our veins. So these four feathers we use for, or the Native American Indians will use them for cleansing and protection. So we're going to do a little cleansing like what the sage cleansers do. I invoke the spirits of air, Horus from the east. Please bless and consecrate this space. Lift all negative energies and make it only a working space of positive witches in the future. Thank you. Forces of fire, Isis from the south. Please come forward and bless and consecrate this space. Remove all negativity, so that only good and positivity may enter and reign here. Forces of water, Thoth in the west. Please come forward and bless and consecrate this space. Lift all the negative energies and get rid of all the negative and demonic and evil energies that have been created here. And from henceforth, this will be a positive, consecrated, safe, spiritual place for witches to perform the rituals. Forces of earth, Osiris in the north. Please come forward and cleanse this space. We rid this space of all negative, unwanted, unclean energies, and we bring forth only new, fresh, good, spiritual energies, vibrant and renewed, and this circle will now be closed of any demonic, any evil and any negative forces, so that all witches may use it from now on in safety, and hopefully that will be an end to the bad stuff that's been going on here. Okay. Is there any last things you need to do, Andy, while we're here?
No, that's it.
I mean, I could try and put the witch's hat on, but let's pop it on for a minute.
Oh, go on.
Go on, you aren't you? It's like when it's blowing a gale. This is whipped off and I've come running after it and everything. It's so like, you know, not very professional as a witch to be doing that really. I'll take the camera and then if there's anything else you need to do.
No, that's it.
Are we done?
I'm more than happy with that.
So I'll just show people the stone. This stone
that's
is an actual altar that was used back in the days of the witches that lived here, and it's been used all through the centuries by other people that perform the same kind of magic. Those rocks over there. People tend to hide jars, spell jars in there, so if you just take the camera I can put my spell jars up there now. You just face it, oh it's alright, I can see. Alright, so these are spell jars, traditional witches spell jars. I've been working on these through the winter, and now it's time to leave them here at Pendle Hill so that the witches will take them and you know, do what they will, what is necessary. So I'll leave these spell jars up there in the rocks. I'll just take a torch. Half the time I go, you know, I'm like for going spread eagle.
Yeah, I do know you. Do you want people knowing where they are or not?
I might go further on.
Alright, so I won't. Alright, well that's. So she doesn't want them moving, so which is perfect. You don't. I'm happy with what she's done today, so just want to say, I mean, obviously I didn't get it, but my theories on
up there, guys.
that.
You try and keep your witch's hat on up here. It's not always easy.
No, it isn't. It's
alright, so I think we'll wrap it up now then and say goodbye.
Yeah.
And we'll see you, this is part of the Pendle Witch Project season that we're doing right now. So the first part was about Alison Device, and this part is going to be about James Device. So we're going to move through the witches and tell you all of their stories and go to all the places where you know, those stories were attached. So So I'll see you next episode, guys. Thanks for watching.
Okay. Bye.